First, I like to say that it's a pleasure to be invited to Amsterdam, and we are here since yesterday, and having it's really nice to walk in the streets over here. So, first of all, and we just when Bas invited me, so I thought I'm only coming and I will talk about all LaZooz project, but as we understood that it's going to be a bigger event that connected to what we are doing, so I will be into the LaZooz movement. What we are doing is real-time ride-sharing effort, and LaZooz is a community effort. So we call it a movement of the people. And we'll start by just explaining what is real-time ride-sharing for us, because sometimes it's misused as we feel by Uber or other alternatives. Real-time ride-sharing is a media. Sorry if I have a spelling mistake on that one. And what I mean by immediate, you go down to the street, you write where you want to get, and in few minutes you get picked up. Sharing. We take sharing as very important thing, and we don't mean by sharing that it's a commercial drive like Uber is doing. We think of the possibility, we identify the resource, and the resource is the free seats in cars. And what we see in traffic or transportation nowadays is that most traffic or traffic jams are caused by free seats in cars. We move one person in a big car from place to place, and we aim to elevate the number of people in each car, even if by a small portion. So the third thing about real-time ride-sharing that I want to stress, and our idea is the ability to make a multi-hop solution. And a multi-hop solution means that finding you a match that will take you from where you were to your destination is very hard to find just in people driving around. And by doing a multi-hop solution, that the first driver will take you to a big junction, and from there to your destination, it reduces the amount of users in the system. So multi-hop solution is the way we chose to implement the solution. And another edge that we think is needed in order for people to put in their car strangers or some kind of strangers is social matching. And since there is so much information about us on the social networks that can algorithmically be used to make social matching, we thought that social matching will be a great idea for getting you people that are more, that the drive you already have will be more interesting and more fruitful than driving alone. That you will benefit from more things than just the return of expenses. So the challenge, the number 1.1 is maybe you don't know what it is, but it is the average occupancy of cars in LA. And LA is very jammed, and this is just one example, but many countries, also Israel, where I come from, the traffic is really jammed with one person in each car almost. 1.1 is really near to just driving alone in a car with 5 seats. So we took this challenge, and it's not a small challenge, because it's a conscious change that need to be done in order to get more people in your private car. And we thought about how are we going to implement or to go into this challenge of changing how people drive from place to place. And we started it as like you do permaculture, or when you want to grow vegetables in your garden. So the first thing you should do is build the soil, create the soil that flowers or vegetables will prosper in. So the first thing we did in building the soil is create a fair share economy. And the fair share economy is aiming to do collaboratively. We want to face this challenge collaboratively. It's not that I think that I have the solution to making real-time ride-sharing happen. We want to create a social act of many people who join this effort and make it happen, and to make an inherent value of their contribution. So fair share means that if you contribute to this effort, you get your fair share for what you've done in terms of money. In order to implement it, we understood that we need maybe 100,000 or millions of contributors to this system. And the old system of transferring money to them, like taking dollars and transferring money as a return to their investment of time, won't serve us because we don't have that money. So we understood that we need a token, a cryptocurrency. And in order to create a cryptocurrency, we got into this arena. And we understood also the problems in this arena and also the benefits, and we understood that we have to make a distribution protocol that will benefit all the parties who are involved. The second thing we understood that in order to make this thing flourish, we have to create algorithms that will create a stable economy, because without stable economy, people will have to take care of what they do with their zoos, or if now it's the time to sell their... I didn't mention that our coin name is Zuz, and it's in Hebrew, Zuz, it's move, and it's also an ancient Hellenistic coin that were used in Israel a few thousand years ago. So stable economic... we don't want to people make too much effort into their dealing with their tokens. We just want it to be held or something that they can just use it. And the third thing we want to use from what already been done in the cryptocurrency world is to do a stable economy, but keep the profit for early investors or early contributors. It's a good way to incentivize people to contribute when the things are not really big and it's already profitable. And this is the soil, and the result that we plan that will happen is mass collaboration. It's hundreds of thousands of collaborators in making this project happen, because having the fair share, a stable economy, and profit for early investors can benefit all the ecosystem and will make this effort mass collaboration that will succeed. So I will talk about the kind of collaboration that our distribution system, because the zoos will be distributed in a few ways, and one of the ways that the zoos will be distributed is very simple. It's road mining. It's installing an application and building the network. So if you go down and you install an application for real-time ride sharing that don't have enough users, and you write, I want to get there, so you get a reply from the system that we don't have a ride. There are like 30 applications in the market that are in this state. So we thought of how we create a community of users. So what we are doing is we did an application that sends your location data to our servers, and that way we know if there is a critical mass of user in a certain geographical area, and if that certain geographical area gets a critical mass of user, we will activate the ride-sharing application, and then you just write where you want to go, and in a few minutes someone stop by. So we have implemented a road mining algorithm that by the kilometers you drive and the people you introduced to the system, you brought other users. So there were two things that we wanted to load to make happen with this road mining algorithm, that people will drive with it, with the application, and won't uninstall it. They will get value for what they are doing. And the second thing, that they will introduce other people to the system and make so for every geolocation, there is the delta of users and the delta of kilometers that will be divided to this geolocation. So every geolocation gets its share to make LaZooz community get to a critical mass. There are many more things in the algorithm, but if you will have specific questions, so I will go into details. The second thing we thought about gamification. We know that mining Bitcoin is very hard, and to get this program, and you see just black screen and text, and people are not used to dealing with this kind of thing. So we thought about how we gamify this introduction of new people and driving with the application. So this is what we have done. We have put some nice images, and we have more ideas, and our application is already in the store, and there are already 1,000 users that we didn't, it's just the beta phase, so we don't publicize the application, or it's just still have some bugs. So gamification is something we take seriously, and we have more ideas about how to make it even more fun. And added features. There are some features that are connected to our location that can be implemented without this big critical mass, and we already want to give these benefits to our users, like finding a place to park, or silent ways, that if the system knows pretty much where you are driving, and today there is a traffic jam, so it will tell you maybe you use other route, and you don't have to activate it. You just drive, and if someday there is a problem, it will let you know of other things. And you can just download the application and start mining, and this is like, we will have a hands-on event just after my talk, and you will have the opportunity also to get in the community and also to start mining and collaborate in this collaborative effort. Another way of distribution of tokens is joining the team, and the team is limitless. It can be 100,000 developers, or people who promote this thing through Facebook, and everything is measured by two things, because our distribution protocol is not only for something that algorithmically can be decided. So we have two factors. We have the algorithm that makes the rules of how it will be distributed, and we have the human input, the community, what the community thinks about this contribution. So if, let's say, what's your name? Arthur help us legally to create our thing. So the community evaluate this effort, and it says it worth this and this Dutch euro, and it converted to its value in Zoos, and Arthur gets this much Zoos for his contribution. And we already have a legal company that works with us that get in return Zoos, that works on Zoos. And we have EY, Ernst & Young accountants that work for Zoos. And the details on the algorithms, it's details, but I have to stress out that we work with the brightest mind in the area. We have a theoretical physicist, Matan Field, who will be talking here tomorrow, who is in charge of the algorithms, and it feels like people trust those things. I just said like the thing fair share and this, but behind it there is a lot of thinking and a lot of work that has been done. So joining the team is sometimes people like to get in the system. I will show you what we use right now for collaboration. But sometimes people go and see what's on our Trello boards, what task, and they just select a task and start to implement it. And sometimes people like to invent tasks, like think about something they can do, and both are welcome. And the value we think is the game changer here is not the few zoos or some amount of zoos that people will get from it. The fair share economy is creating a real feeling of partnership on the other parts. This initiative will succeed by cooperation, and it will get returns to its contributors. So the feeling of partnership is the value that we want to emphasize. And we feel it's a game changer. What we are, this is the real thing. We are not the best developers, and we are not the best anything, but we are developing the infrastructure for collaboration, and this is the main thing that we think will drive this application into success. We are working on the platform. And there is another way to collaborate is by backing the project, and the distribution protocol is creating a token also for money that gets in the system. So there is, and what we are practicing in the protocol that is connected to money that gets in, we thought about pegging the zoos to a real value in the world that is connected to the cost of drive, because our mission is to create a real-time ride sharing, and sharing the cost of drive is the aim, and it should be relative to the cost of drive. So pegging it to the cost of drive, or 1 kilometer of drive, while keeping it beneficial for the community. So total pegging won't have any place for us to distribute coins for contribution. So we created margins in our protocol that, again, if you want details on that afterwards, I can stress. So there are margins, and the margins are being used to distribute to all the community. It's not that we gain, we alone get these margins. This margins is like a dividend that is paid to all the community. So the growth of the community is contributing to the people who are inside the economy. And this is the dividend. And another way to collaborate is a bigger scale of collaboration, is what we aim for. Collaborative transportation web is when other applications that already try to implement real-time ride sharing and don't have the critical mass to create it can join in our economy. Yeah, not just real-time, can join in our community, and we have created also a model that what was the thinking behind it was a win-win situation, that the application that joins in don't have to give up on their database of users or the thing. They just, when they don't have a reply for a request, when someone go down and he writes, I want to get from here to there, and they don't have a reply, they just send this request to the LaZooz network. And LaZooz network can be many operations. And if they get replies, they have to transfer ZOOZ, or the token that will benefit all the ecosystem. So just a win-win situation, and the collaboration can be as big as, this is just how big we thought the collaboration can be, but this economy is unlimited in collaboration. And it's we call it movement of the people because this, I just want to show you a little bit the current how it looks. So this is in the Netherlands, the collaborators, but it's this is how it looks on a worldwide scale, the people who already installed the mining application. And